Nelson were running at him with long arms.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised that Hubert Davis didn't make that, just make the adjustment where he started to take it to the basket late and got to the line a couple of times. And, if you're not hitting your shots, you trust him to hit some of these shots. But you're right. I mean, the contested shots with Alabama's length, I thought that they would make a better adjustment.
And I'm telling you, one of the guys we're not talking about enough and we're talking about him, but not enough, is Rylan Griffin. What he's doing defensively. He sort of has jump-started this team defensively a little in Charleston, and then without Wrightsell, he was put on the big guy for Grand Canyon, and then he carried it over. A lot of the times was on RJ the other night, and then he was on Clemson's big guy for a little bit. I mean, he's been playing some unbelievable defense. The whole team has, but he sort of is the go-go juice on defense, in my opinion.
Can you imagine if this team had a Herb Jones?
Oh, yeah. Well, Gerard led them in scoring. But Rylan Griffin, for a lot of the end of that game, was chasing that guy all over the floor.
Early in the game, Gerard was 1 of 5, and that was kind of a storyline in itself. I mean, that guy pumped in over 100 threes this year.
There you go, man. Alabama in the Final Four. And we'll continue to count you down to Phoenix, Glendale officially, and the team heading back out west after coming home, and a great scene yesterday at the airport. Tomorrow's show originates live from Auburn, Alabama, inside the Auburn football complex.
That's right. Hugh Freeze with us at 11:30. John Cohen, the AD, with us early. Payton Thorne, the quarterback, in the 10 o'clock hour with Eugene Asante and some other Auburn players.
Yeah, so that's on the show tomorrow as we originate live from Auburn, Alabama. We continue on in this time of year. A-Day, the spring game for Auburn this Saturday at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And should be a lot of fun as we talk a little football tomorrow on the show as well. God, Alabama's in the Final Four. Pretty special time. We'll see how it all rolls in. Until next time, God bless you and God bless America.
When on YouTube, you constantly hear requests to please like and subscribe. Well, here at Disrupt Media, we aren't going to play that game. Those demands are frankly outdated. So we just want you to hit like or subscribe. It's like a choose-your-own-adventure novel. Pick a path, hit like, or hit subscribe. It's your call. We don't care which, just pick one. Or go to Roll Tide Pods and do it. Or War Damn Pods. Or the Disrupt Media YouTube channel. Or The Meltdown. Just make a decision and stick with it. Like or subscribe, the choice is yours.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live will share the latest interviews and videos from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and campuses all over the college landscape. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Live Daily Show. Jim, Lance, and Ryan will share their thoughts, and remember, you can always see the old shows on the Next Round Live YouTube channel. Subscribe, like, and don't forget to comment. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. It's Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
You've been wearing that thin, raggedy t-shirt for years now, and people cannot stop whispering and staring in your vicinity. We've all been there. Luckily, there's a solution to your lack of fashion and social cues. At NextRound.store, they have plenty of options when it comes to a variety of shirts and hats. Once you start putting that Next Round gear on, be prepared to make new lifelong friends and hundreds of unforgettable conversations. Hope you like random high fives in the street, because that's what you're getting after visiting NextRound.store.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Every day, someone is ridiculed and mocked for the clothing they chose to wear. It's a harsh reality we all must face. But you have the chance to change all of that with one visit to NextRound.store. For just a few minutes of browsing, you will observe so many clothing options, from hats to hoodies to t-shirts. Please, for yourself or someone you love, go to nextround.store and embrace the warmth of true attire.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
Maybe you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X, LinkedIn, or TikTok while we're changing the game yet again. Tyler's Telegrams has been developed exclusively for you.
Hi, this is the lovable boy you know as Tyler the Intern. I'm a businessman now. I will come directly to your door and tell you every time a new piece of TNR content drops. For the low, low price of $740,000, you can be notified by me, one of the biggest stars of the Next Round, about that thing you missed. Sure, the rest of those social media services are free, but so is radio, and we all know how well that's trending.
Tyler's Telegrams is currently operating exclusively in Bibb County. Other social media platforms are available everywhere.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
And just off Donahue and a short tiger walk down into the future of Auburn football, we find our show today down here on the Plains. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Rockstar, and everybody back in our Birmingham studios. We're inside the Auburn football complex as we get ready to talk a lot of Auburn athletics today, on a day that we get to return the favor and come down here and learn a whole lot about what's going on down here with Auburn football and some other sports as well.
Yeah, no doubt. Much like our friends in Tuscaloosa did, our friends in Auburn gave us a tour of this facility, and I was commenting to our host, Shelley Poe, who does a tremendous job here at Auburn with their media relations, that the biggest thing that has changed in college football, I think, and there's been a lot of changes in college football, but the biggest change are these facilities. Like, it is just incredible, the arms race that the SEC has gone through.
Yeah, and I was asking Shelley, what's the difference, 50 years ago? And she was like, just 15 years ago. And she was just talking about the staff. And look, this is apples to oranges, but I remember Neil Calloway invited me and Ian down to his offices. And this was the old UAB. It was like that one level, like green building.
Driver's Ed building?
Yeah. And old carpet, old furniture. And I mean, it was really a sad state. But, I don't think probably Power 5 programs 15, 20 years before that were probably in the same situation.
When I started working the business down here at Auburn was the football dormitory. It was like a courtyard motel, basically, just over the right field fence at Plainsman Park, where Plainsman Park is now. And we'd come down with the gathered media on media day, and we would eat lunch with the players and the coaches in the CAF, and then we'd go out and everybody did one-on-ones in front of the trees in the courtyard there, including Coach Dye, who would stop with every local media person and do an interview. It's how much the coverage has grown and how much the facilities have grown.
And every player was kind of an equal then. You think about Bo Jackson in today's NIL. How would that guy have lived?
Oh, my gosh. Are you kidding me? But, I mean, this is, we make such a big deal because we, the fans, especially on TV, see the stadiums. And when we talk facilities, we talk stadiums. When recruits talk facilities, they talk buildings like this. And you've got a building like this at every SEC campus that is serious about recruiting and winning. Yeah. They've all done this. And these buildings are just incredible. There is no expense spared. I mean, it is anything you could think of in these things.
To your point, they spend basically 7 Saturdays at the stadium.
Right.
They spend every day here. This is where they train. This is where oftentimes they eat. Sometimes they study hall here. This is where everything happens in a facility like this. This is where they want it to be top-notch and continue to improve, and Auburn has done that. We had a chance to spend time with Coach Freeze just briefly before he came on. He'll be with us later in the show, and we'll talk, as I said, to a couple of Auburn football players, including the guy who's leading the quarterback race. Later in the show, we'll talk a little baseball, a little equestrian, a little gymnastics, who's on their way to the regionals, and we'll talk to our old friend,
Elijah McAllister, who joined us every week last year during the season. He's going to swing by and say hi to us. I think Lance has a list for Coach Freeze. He'll be with us at 11:30 Central Time coming up in the final hour of the show. But we'll get to the headlines, everything else that's going on. Brought to you by our friends at Coca-Cola, one of our proud sponsors. They've got the new Coca-Cola Spice right now available at local retailers. It's that great Coca-Cola tradition with some spiced flavors and a little hint of raspberry. It's there for you. It's the taste of summer in 2024, our friends at Coca-Cola. Of course, we spent all yesterday talking about Alabama's trip to the Final Four. Today for the Crimson Tide, they have a practice, a 12:45 news conference with Nate Oates, our Emily Grace McWhorter in Tuscaloosa covering that. And then they're on a plane at 3 o'clock on their way back out west to Phoenix, a short, quick trip home before they turn around and get their body clocks back right for the West Coast Final Four.
Well, I thought it was interesting yesterday. You brought up how many shoot-arounds they actually get in that facility. What is that facility called now?
It's State Farm Stadium.
Okay,
now.
State Farm Stadium. So is it official? Is it 2? Is it 3? Do you know the number?
Yeah,
because
I think that's significant for Alabama. The shoot-arounds? Yeah, how many do they get? Shelly has gone to a lot of these. She may be able to help me. If I'm correct, they get the open practice inside the facility. They get a morning shoot around, and then they play the game, if I'm correct with that. Then they'll use their own private facility, sometimes like Arizona State or another college. Or another.
They're not using Arizona State.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's like Nate's a pseudo Hurley, so rotating.
That's true.
Rotating Hurley brothers to Arizona State's facility. I mean, I know he's tight with the family, but if the coach I'm about to play, his brother is the head coach in that facility, I don't know that I want to do my practices in there. But like I said, if you're a fan making the trip out there, when I was with Auburn in Minneapolis, it was such a cool feeling to be there in the open practice because it's open to the public. And then before they start the clock, they introduce the team onto the floor. And then Jim Nantz back then, who was still doing the Final Four, was sitting there interviewing Bruce over the PA system. And that was sort of that was Auburn's first Final Four. This will be Alabama's first Final Four. And that was sort of the moment I was like, man, Auburn's at the Final Four, and you're an Alabama fan, you're going to get that. You're going to be sitting there going at that live shoot-around, open shoot-around going, man, this is the Final Four. This is what it's like. And we've talked many times, that Saturday, 2 games, same stadium, back-to-back is a pretty awesome thing that happens in sports. We had awesome last night in women's basketball. I bet we all watched it. I bet everyone watched it. And so I was at a concert last night, but since you bring this up, this goes hand in hand. I was at a concert last night down with our friends at Avondale Brewing. Teddy Swims. You ever heard of him?
Yes, I have. Confuse him with Johnny Swims, two totally different
genres. Johnny Swim is a husband-wife duo that is
now the Lose Control. They've worn it out, but it's a good song.
Yeah, so Lance even knew him. Like when I mentioned I was with Teddy Swims, Lance knew him. So I was down at Avondale. By the way, a ton of next round love down there. I greatly appreciate that. We all do. I did not realize our audience and his audience crossed over so much, but a ton of people down there for that. But what I was going to say is I walked by numerous people going to the restroom, going to get a drink or whatever that had the game on their phone.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just out there watching.
I put it, I was doing notes and I told Brown this, Dunaway. I put it on and I ended up watching the entire game. And look, I've said this before, and I've said this months ago. Caitlin Clark, I haven't watched a ton of women's basketball. Best I've ever seen, though. And on that stage last night, going into it knowing that it probably was going to be the biggest audience in women's college basketball history, for her to put on the show she put on last night,
incredible.
9 threes, 41 points. I mean, again, I still don't know. I think we've got disagreement here. I think me and Dunaway agree. You disagree. Or I forgot how.
I don't know. What is it?
Caitlin Clark coming out, going to Indiana, Fever, #1 overall. I think she should stay in Iowa, but
yeah, we've disagreed on that.
But the eyeballs are going to drop. She's not going to lose any endorsement money initially,
right?
But 5 years from now, she's going to be as popular as she is right now. But she's got to leave college eventually anyway. I just enjoyed what happened last night. I was sort of rooting for LSU to win the game. But
are you a Kim Mulkey guy?
SEC, and I sort of wanted LSU to
pop in that belt,
win the game.
The old grandmother.
That switch is not thick enough. Get your ass out there and get me another one.
Caitlin Clark scores 41, and then the nightcap. I enjoyed watching. I used to cheer against UConn women all the time, but when I heard their story that they had 5 people in rotation,
that's not why you were pulling for them. Be honest, why you were pulling for them.
Why?
Well, you brought it up today. You said there was they were going against the 1 seed.
I was going to win a state bet against
against the 1 seed. But no, it was really because their 5 starters played almost the entire game, all 40 minutes, all 5 of them, because they're so injured, and they got their team to the Final Four. Just an amazing night for the women last night. We've got A-Day here in Auburn coming up this weekend. The spring game happens. We'll talk football later on, but we're about to talk a little baseball as the SEC season is off and rolling. We'll get Cooper in here. Cooper McMurray is going to join us here in a second. While he's making his way up here, I'll tell you about our friends at Precision Sports Medicine. Precision Sports Medicine and Orthopedics. They'll take care of you, whether it's pickleball or an injury in the driveway playing pickup basketball with the kids, or maybe you just get to an age where you pull a muscle while you're doing lawn work or something. Precision Sports Medicine gets you back in the game. Orthopedic care better together. Precision Sports Ortho.com, PrecisionSportsOrtho.com. Schedule and make an appointment today. That's our friends at Precision Sports Ortho. All right, Auburn's Cooper McMurray with us, Tiger baseball player. Big old dude, man. I did not know you were this big.
Yeah.
What a weird way to start an interview, isn't it?
No, you're good.
I can make it weirder. This guy can drink some beer. I can tell. I mean, baseball players run harder than anyone out there, and if somebody was like, what is this guy? This guy's a first baseman. This guy can rake, and this guy can drink beer.
Yeah. And I don't know if I'm allowed to comment on that.
Yeah, okay. But you can comment on being a first baseman that
Yes,
can rake.
sir, I am
okay.
first baseman.
They can rake. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so former Kansas Jayhawk, though, I wanted to ask you this because Neville Arena is an incredible atmosphere. Fog Allen is obviously Fog Allen. In the best atmosphere, top 25 matchup, what actually is the best atmosphere?
I honestly think I'd have to go with Fog Allen. That place is historic, but Neville's a close second. Definitely, that place gets rowdy. It's fun to go to basketball games here.
The Rock Chalk Jayhawk. I mean, you were there. I'm sure. I mean, God, they win every home game, so I know you got to do it. And it's just so. It sounds so weird on TV. Is it eerie sounding in person?
A little bit, but it's a good thing to do for them, and it's fun to go to their basketball games and see them be successful.
I know baseball players love their hair, and these guys they are the best at pointing out somebody that's got a toupee. And we've been doing a show together for 14 years, and I never thought about Bill Self with a toupee, but they're like, he has a toupee. You can tell from his sweat line.
Yeah, and the fact that his hair never changes color.
Is this something that was brought up as a Kansas student?
No, it was not. Not personally, not for me, but I've heard the rumors and stuff.
So, is that really a thing that goes around?
Yeah, there's rumors, but who knows if it's true or not.
Yeah, I'm a former baseball player. I loved my hair back in the day too. So enjoy it while you have it. So how many of your home runs in high school were wind aided in Tulsa? I mean, the wind blows in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it does. It blows a lot, but I would like to think that not a lot of them were. But if you ask different people, it might be a different answer.
So when you get the pressure, I mean, I was reading some of the scouting reports on you coming into the year, and you have coaches saying this is the guy that's going to stir the drink for our offense. That's a lot of pressure if you're the guy that's got to stir the drink for the offense.
Yeah, I think it's a pressure and a privilege, being able to, have the confidence to go in there that the coaches and teammates believe in you and just, help the team win however I can.
I did play-by-play in the Jayhawk League. I don't know these summer leagues that you've played in, but I remember when we would go to a bigger city, they would get me to do a rain dance. And this guy, I'm very superstitious, but it would work.
Yeah.
And so we would have these rainouts. And the reason I bring this up is you guys are going to be in Birmingham tonight against UAB, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like there could be some bad weather coming through.
It's going to be tricky.
Are rainouts ever good for you guys? We saw it in Bull Durham, too. They loved them. And do you look at the weather? I mean, is that something you key in on before games, trying to figure out whether or not there's going to be any inclement weather coming through?
I try not to look at it, but I know a lot of our teammates do. But rainouts are difficult because you never know if you're going to be able to get back on the field. So it's being able to keep a steady head and knowing you might have to go out there in 10 minutes and have an at bat or first pitch is in 5 minutes. So you got to be prepared for whatever.
Cooper McMurray is with us, the first baseman that can rake for the Auburn Tigers. He mentioned Bull Durham. Are you a baseball movie guy?
I am, yeah.
All right.
I think Bull Durham's definitely up there on mine. And
most of them are bad, though. You'll agree, right?
Yeah, well, give me your Mount Rushmore, though, of baseball movies.
Okay, so Bull Durham's on there. Sandlot, you got to include Sandlot.
Love Sandlot. It's killing me small.
Don't say one. They like this one that is so hokey.
I'd have to stick Major League up there.
Yes.
And probably either Major League 2 or
Major League. One of our former co-hosts is in that.
I know. He's got both Major League on Mount Rushmore. Which one do we say is hokey?
Well, the one I believe is hokey is the rookie. I think it made you cry because he calls his old man.
No. That's me.
Have you seen the rookie?
I have, yes.
All right, so when he calls home to tell,
Doug's gun is like the speedometer or whatever the meter is out on the street.
I'm a Tampa Bay Rays fan.
right.
Until just recently, that was the greatest moment in franchise history.
That's true.
No. So Cooper, when he has to call home to tell his wife he's gotten called up, she goes, "There's one person you got to tell," and he puts his kid on the phone. It used to not get me, but when I had kids, that got me, man. The next time I watched after having kids, I'm like, that got me.
Yeah.
So that's why he says hokey.
Okay.
But
Bad news Bears, though, man.
Yeah, Bad News Bears.
Have you seen the original?
Yeah.
And Walter Matthau was great.
What about the Natural? That
Natural's a good one.
growing up, man. I love the Natural.
I think Little Big League is a corny one, but it's a good one when you're a kid.
There's a lot of baseball movies.
Yeah.
There really are. Yeah, like you said, most of them bad. I think you're right about that.
What's not bad, or depending on how you look at it, y'all schedule. So what? You've lost 8 of your first 9 in conference, but all to what, top 10 teams? I mean,
I think so.
My gosh.
Yeah, and then we got number 4 Tennessee coming in town this weekend, so it's another good opportunity.
That's just life in the SEC.
It never stops.
Yeah. And I think it's important to keep a good head on us, and it's a close group in the locker room, so there's no panic. But yeah, we got another good opportunity coming up this weekend.
But the one win was against the number 1 team in the country, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that day showed that we can play with anybody. I think if we can put our pitching and hitting together at the same time, I think it's a good group, and I think the sky's the limit for us.
Give us a regular superstition, because baseball players are the most superstitious, and they give us something maybe that was weird superstitious wise for you for a little bit that you kind of weeded out.
Okay, one of the weird ones was my sophomore year at Kansas. I went to Jimmy John's before every game.
Every game.
What'd you
get?
Good spot though.
Yeah, it's a good spot, definitely.
I bet you went libido.
I got the turkey and provolone.
Turkey Tom.
Yeah, exactly. But I kind of weeded that one out. And actually, I've been trying to be less superstitious.
What got it weeded out though? Did you go was it a golden sombrero?
Yeah, just a rough day, and I was like, maybe I won't try it today. And then I think I had a good day, so I think I was like, yeah, all right.
Is it a bad thing to have the superstitions though? Is it something that like gets in your headspace and you have to balance it out and you start going the other way sometimes?
I think a little bit, but like you said, baseball players are weird guys, so I think it's it's comfortable for them to do their own superstitions and be their own person, and do whatever makes them feel good.
What's the strangest one you've seen? You may not have to name the teammate, but feel free to if you want to put somebody on blast.
Strangest one I've seen.
Strangest superstition you've ever seen from a baseball player.
Probably I know it's a common one, but like the wearing the same underwear for a game.
I don't see how they do that.
Or not washing their undershirt if they're on a street.
You see what we do for a living. This is not exactly heavy lifting, right? I can't wear the same underwear back-to-back days, and we're not even breaking a sweat.
We feel like we have a great show. It's getting washed.
Yeah,
I'm actually on a 12-game, a good show streak right now. So if you smell something, I apologize.
So you're a former tight end. You look like a dude that can handle themselves. All these years of baseball, have you ever seen All Out Brawl? Have you been involved in one?
I haven't, but you see him on Twitter and all the time, so. No, luckily I haven't been a part of one.
But do you guys sit around and talk about what's your assignment?
Oh yeah, hypothetically, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I guarantee
we go. I got that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Coming from first base, the guy's probably not making it to the mound. A good catcher doesn't let the guy get out of the box.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, that's the catcher's job, and then everything else happens.
Hey, so the biggest baseball brawl, you'll love this as you play first. It actually happened at third, though, in the hot corner. I grew up Jacksonville State. I don't know if you know where that is.
Yeah.
Okay, so I grew up over in that area. So when I was a kid, we used to go to games there. And they used to play Troy, which was a huge rivalry. And it was pitches thrown at people. I mean, and back and forth. And the dugout was the other third baseman. He made the last out, steps on third, turns, and just chunks the ball in the dugout.
Yeah.
And it was a brawl, Cooper.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a brawl.
Nowadays, you can't do that in baseball. So
no,
back then you could, though.
That's back when it was fun.
Yeah.
This is the late 80s. There were no rules.
So tell us your best football memory being a former tight end, I guess 4 years in high school.
Ooh, probably my senior year, we made it to the state semifinals, and just that whole season was fun, just because it was a senior year, and
Did you get a lot of touches?
Yeah, I got a good amount of catches. I think it was just fun because I knew I wasn't going to be playing college football, and I picked baseball, so I think just going out there and having the time of my life with my buddies in my senior year.
What was your favorite part of football practice, and what's your least favorite part of baseball workouts?
Favorite part of football practice was the defense part because I didn't have to do anything. I just played offense, so I would just sit there and watch them exactly, or run like 7-on-7 scout team quarterback.
The major answer.
Practicing. You were the scout team quarterback?
Sometimes, just messing around. But least favorite part of baseball workouts probably the 6 a.m.s when we run the stadiums at Jordan-Hare.
Yeah,
it's always a rough one.
I don't understand that. You should run your own stadium. I don't think you should have to run the football stadium.
Yeah, it probably was better running the stadium in Kansas.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
definitely.
Than Jordan-Hare, bigger stadium.
Exactly.
Do you like wood bat? I mean, I brought up wood bat leagues. I mean, I don't know. Have you played Cape Cod, Alaskan, any of those?
I didn't play any of those, but I did. I've played wood bat summer leagues, and I like it. I think the wood bats are, it's fun for an 18-year-old kid to get a wood bat in their hand and see what they can do.
Did you ever hear about some of the old aluminum when they called it gorilla ball?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Would you love to swing some of that?
I would. Yeah. My dad has a couple at the house in Tulsa, so
did he play?
Mess around. Yes, sir. He did. He played at San Diego State.
Oh, it's an Aztec, huh?
Yeah.
And
Tony Gwynn.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So he has a couple of those bats at home, so we mess around with them.
Yeah. Are you a barbecue guy? You like barbecue?
Yeah.
Okay, so I know it's an Oklahoma thing, head country barbecue sauce. Are you familiar
I don't know
with
if
that?
I've had that or not.
Have you not? Oh, it's awesome barbecue sauce.
Yeah, no, I got blessed with barbecue because being from Oklahoma, they got good barbecue there, and then obviously in Lawrence, it's only like 40 minutes from Kansas City, so going up there and eating barbecue.
Did you have a swamp cooler growing up?
No, I did not.
You know what a swamp cooler is? It was like something that because I lived in Kansas for a summer, and it was like a equivalent of an air conditioning unit. But it was called a swamp. Well, you know what Rocky Mountain oysters are?
Yeah.
Have you eaten them?
No.
This dude loves them.
Really?
Yeah, I do not love them.
Travel.
Listen, we do a bracket bet every year, right? And the loser.
By the way, we've got something to tell you about.
Yeah, Dunaway. We may let him out of his bet in a minute, but the loser of the bracket has to do something stupid every year.
Okay.
And last year I had to go to a testicle festival and try the Rocky Mountain oysters. If you didn't know that's what you were eating, it really wouldn't affect you that much. But when you know that's what you're eating, Cooper, it ain't great.
Wish I had $1 for every time I heard that.
My favorite thing is they told Cooper we're gonna bring you over there to talk baseball with you.
Yeah. Anybody have any question?
Wait,
what
3-1, what are you looking for typically?
Yeah. Oh, man. Well, thank you for getting up early.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
No worries. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, it was a blast. Nice to meet you, buddy.
Yeah,
good luck tonight.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Cooper. Cooper McMurray, the raking first baseman.
I hate to tell you, you're not going to play tonight. It's going to be a rain out. You won't even get on the bus.
Thank you, Cooper.
All right. Appreciate Cooper joining us here. The show being brought to you by Charles Barkley's Vodka as well. Redmont Vodka. 8 times distilled.
It is, and gluten-free. It's a fabulous product available in 22 states. If you're at a bar or a restaurant, they don't have it, ask for it by name. Again, locally owned and operated. It is Redmont Vodka.
What a great guy there.
I like that kid, man.
Yeah, absolutely. For you softball fans, we'll talk to Auburn legend Maddie Penta. She'll join us to start hour number 2. Back to everything that is going on in the world. Speaking of baseball, last night we had our earliest no-hitter ever. 324th no-hitter in Major League Baseball history.
It's every week now.
Yeah, April 1st, the earliest Major League Baseball no-hitter ever.
It is insane how often they happen now. You guys have busted me for this in the past, but even this morning.
No, I'm starting to get. Well, I told you, look, I mean, ESPN way overhypes women's basketball because they're a partnership with it. But they do their top headlines, and it was women's basketball, women's basketball, women's basketball, women's basketball, and then the 5th headline was no-hitter.
Yeah.
And, it was the 8th career start for this kid. It was the Astros' first win of the year.
Caitlin Clark's game, bigger accomplishment.
Oh, I don't disagree.
But let me tell you, what's amazing about Blanco is the guy for the Astros that had the no-hitter, he had never pitched past the 6th inning in his life.
I know.
And now he goes 9 with a no-hitter. So that happens last night. Also, Pittsburgh is 5-0. First time they've been 5-0 since 1983. And the Yankees are 5-0. First time they've been 5-0 since 1992.
As we were talking about that no-hitter, Forrester gave me one of the saddest Chicago White Sox stats of all time, and that is a high bar. Their opening day starter was making his first Major League start ever. How bad is their pitching staff? Guy's first Major League start ever, and he's their opening day starter.
So Dunaway, you asked earlier to me, what did you guys, because Dunaway decided to drive by himself. He wanted that highway, that wind chill time.
Yeah. I decided to drive by myself. Yeah.
100%. Don't even
Little T, Forrester, did he not say he wanted to drive by himself?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Everybody agreed.
Everybody jumped in the car.
Anyway, he comes up to me and he's like, what was the conversation in the car?
We'll put you on speaker on the way back.
This is going to be an old school tease. We have got an option for you to get out of your bracket challenge right here today. and it will take you less than a minute.
It'll take no time at all.
How do you already say no? You don't even know what we're offering.
I need to hear it. I mean, this isn't going to be one of those I got to.
You don't have to do it. No,
I'm choose it instead of.
Yes. No, you can.
If you do it, you're out of your.
Yeah, you're out of it.
You're out of your punishment.
Say it's either or. Yeah.
But I don't have to say yes
No.
before I know what it is.
No,
Nope,
absolutely.
Nope.
Okay.
Do you want to do a
We're gonna
commercial
say it
and
on the air?
Can we? This segment.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a second here before we do UCA.
Okay, so we drove by, and obviously the
It's right
facilities
here.
down here are
Yep.
fantastic,
Yep.
but obviously Auburn known for the aquatic center and their swimming and diving.
A great program, one of the top in the world.
If you will do a flip off of the highest platform,
I can't flip.
Why? It's the highest platform. All you got to do is jump and kick your feet.
You know what? You know what will not injure me? Driving to 5 D1 arenas and dropping a 3-pointer.
You just do a flip off the high dive and you're done.
First, I am not athletic enough to flip off of any dive.
A
I
little
can't flip
tease
off
here
the
to
side of the
video.
road.
okay, are you guys willing to do this? If you will just do a cannonball, that's it. No flip.
Cannonball off the high dive.
Anybody can do a
You
cannonball.
guys know I'm afraid of heights. I cannot jump off of that.
There's water down there. If you fall, it's not going to.
Shelly, can we get him in there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Shelly. I love Shelly.
Yeah.
She'll say yes to you.
There's release forms I would need to sign.
Okay. Yeah, we can do that.
I'll lifeguard. If you go under and don't come up, I'll jump in.
You know who was most excited about this idea?
Yeah.
The queen of content over there. Her eyes lit up when she thought she could get video of Dunaway.
Maybe if there was somebody in my car on the way down to have convinced me. Like, oh no,
I knew it.
no, not at all. I
So zero chance.
Zero chance. Go come off the high dive.
We'd go over there, and I would say yes, and I would get up there and could not jump off. I mean, I would be up there when you're on the top. I've gone to the top before, and never made it off of the staircase and looked out. And
Okay, so what is higher, Chimney Rock or the highest platform?
There's no way I even climb up Chimney Rock.
Yeah.
I watch people. I am nervous for people when they're jumping off of Chimney Rock, and I've got a Bud Light, and I'm sitting in a pontoon
But the
boat.
problem with Chimney
I
Rock
can't watch people jump
is
off
when you
Chimney
go
Rock.
under, there's no visibility.
Yeah.
And this
This is a good
pool
clear
will be able to
pool.
fit you out.
100%. But it's getting off of the platform that is impossible for me.
Just think about it. I don't know why you got to jump to it's not going to happen.
You know, all I can envision is Dunaway like the Olympics when they get out of the pool and they hand him that little bath cloth. They give him a full towel and they get that little bath cloth.
Yeah. Then I go to the warming pool.
If he did a cannonball, you'd be ballless.
They would be left in the filter. Yeah. It would probably solve a lot of my problems. Our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Speaking of which, can help you with all your medical needs. Man, as you grow a little older, you want to stay on top of your health issues. 16 locations across the great state of Alabama. Urology Centers Alabama. UrologyCentersAlabama.com. Check them out. Our friends at UCA 16 locations right there. Just jump in and check them out. Our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Quick break here. When we come back, we'll talk to Auburn's athletic director about everything going on in the Plains right here on TNR.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by AmFirst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
You have all heard of Red Wing Shoes, but what is Red Wing Shoes? It's the place where men buy boots, plain and simple. Who are Red Wing's customers? They are construction workers, warehouse employees, college students, the guy that fixes your AC, the guy at the end of the bar, the IT guy. Red Wing is a father, Red Wing is a son, Red Wing is a cult following shared by all men. A classic, comfortable pair of cool boots with a story to tell. What's your Red Wing story? Red Wing Shoe Stores, located in Pelham and Trussville. NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Cool Ray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladagaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
We're about to talk everything Auburn athletics with the AD. I want to remind you that NASCAR racing is returning to Talladega, one of the great weekends in our state. People from all over the country come and check out the races at Talladega Super Speedway. You can get your tickets there right now, 877-GO-TO-DEGA or TalladagaSuperspeedway.com. Experience the infield, the garage area, and also a Walker Hayes concert with your Geico 500 ticket on Saturday night. And then the big race is on Sunday, April 19th through the 21st. It's the TalladagaSuperspeedway.com for tickets or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
John Cohen is the athletic director at Auburn. 2 years now? Am I right about that?
I think 16 months.
16 months, okay. I didn't know if we had gotten to the 2-year mark.
We're still doing like the baby thing, right?
Right.
It's not a year and a half, it's 16 months, right?
Yes. So a year and a half, 16 months, however you want to say it. Welcome in. We appreciate you coming on with us.
Thank you.
It is an interesting time in college athletics. I know there's a lot of things we've got to get to, but probably the things you were juggling when you first became an athletic director are totally different than things you're juggling now.
Yeah, I think when you become an athletic director, especially in the Southeastern Conference, one of your main focuses are facilities. And, with name, image, and likeness and the current climate of intercollegiate athletics, things have really changed. You're staring at a different way of thinking, a different way of doing things. I'm not saying that it's bad. It's just different. And I several of my colleagues, even around the state of Alabama and around the SEC, have said there is not an endless supply.
Right.
So we got to make some really difficult decisions. And I think what we're all searching for at this point in time is this. I felt like 8 years ago when I became an athletic director, there was a standard for everything we did. There was a standard, whether it was NCAA rules, whether it was financial, there was always a standard. I think we're searching for one right now. Because there really is a lack of standards, albeit rules, philosophies, things of that nature. And I'm going to be really excited when we can get back to that level.
Well, you said there is an endless supply of money. As an athletics director, collectives are trying to figure out their way on this. But how much do you weigh in on how much a player is worth?
Zero.
Okay.
John Cohen weighs in zero on that. We leave that to others. But John Cohen certainly is involved in connecting athletes with opportunities well within the rules. And we also speak to our alumni a great deal about the great work that On to Victory is doing, our collective. And I hate even saying collective because this is a group of people that really care about our student athletes and want to help them find their way. And I think there is definitely a place for that. I think it's a positive thing, but it's going to be a much more positive thing when we have standards.
Yeah, I know Jordan-Hare Stadium, you've got some changes going there, and the people that love Auburn help with those donations as well. What are some things you're excited about changing the game day football experience for your fans coming up?
Well, certainly we experimented with field suites a year ago.
Right.
It was a huge success. So now we're going to dive into that. We're also diving into some opportunities that we have, some old cavernous spaces underneath the stadium, and really looking at in every direction at our north end zone. If you look at Auburn right now, the amount of premium seating we have in our football stadium compared to the 88,000 capacity it has, it's a relatively low amount. And our premium sections are excellent. They're sold out. We right now we have 63 different people who are in a waiting line for suites. So there is a demand for premium here at Auburn, and we're in the very, very beginning stages with our board, with our president, with the people who run this great university, and looking into what we can do in Jordan-Hare to help with the lack of premium.
Well, that ruins my idea. I was going to tell you, be the first school to put 85 suites in the north end zone, and every football scholarship player's family gets one of the suites.
That would work out real well.
If you've got 63 on a waiting list, there's not enough room.
Can you explain to him why that is a bad idea?
Well, it's a bad idea because I don't know how you get whatever it is.
If you would even get Cam,
it would be huge. It would be tall.
We'd block the sun.
I think the players would be, our student athletes would be in favor of that for sure.
Yeah. John Cohen is the Auburn athletic director. He is with us on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline as we continue from Auburn. I know you get asked this a lot, but Auburn fans want us to ask you about the apparel deal. Where does that stand with Under Armour, and perhaps a change if that is in the offing? Can you talk about where that stands?
Is Russell coming back?
Hey, I was a big fan of Russell in the day. I know you guys were too.
Oh yeah, the Alabama Cup.
That's right.
Yeah.
Alex City.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, everybody would go by the store where they sold right there in Alex City. But yeah, we've been after this since September the 1st contractually, and we feel like we're in a very, very positive place right now. I think our fan base, everyone connected with Auburn, is going to be very, very pleased with where we are. Just not ready to release because not all the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. God, everybody says that way too much.
I get it.
But yeah, we're excited about where we are and excited about the future in that area. And we feel like, again, our student athletes all the way to our fans and alumni are really going to enjoy it.
Is that one of the most asked questions you get then?
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot.
So you knew that was coming. Yeah.
And, rightfully so, especially from student athletes, because, those shoes you put on, they're not just a uniform.
Right.
I mean, they're part of the anatomy, right?
Yeah.
And we got a lot of input from student athletes. We got a lot of input from fans. We got a lot of input from our coaches, from staff members, and everyone across all the stakeholders of Auburn University. And we listened. And to me, I'm 57 years old, guys. Listening is a much more valuable tool now than it was 20 years ago. When I was 37, there's no need for me to listen to anyone because I knew everything, right?
Right.
At age 57, you don't realize that listening is a very valuable tool.
You played for a legendary coach in Ron Polk, baseball at Mississippi State, and now you're around a couple of guys you got a really good business relationship with in Bruce Pearl and Hugh Freeze. What do you see in these guys that maybe you saw in a guy like Ron Polk?
Yeah, just leaders, people who care about young people, people who care about this university, never too busy to help anyone. The selfless characteristics of those guys, and it's not just those two. I think you can throw Butch Thompson into that mix as well. I think you can throw a ton of I think you can throw Johnny Harris, our women's basketball coach, into that. I just feel so privileged to work with a group of coaches. Mickey Dean walked into my office a week ago and said, "Here's what I think is best for Auburn softball." And it was one of the most selfless things I had ever heard any coach say. So I feel so privileged to be with this group of coaches at a place like Auburn.
I remember he mentioned Ron Polk, and it just always makes me think of this. It's the most random thing, John, but he was still the baseball coach, obviously, at Mississippi State when the SEC tournament was at the Met. Or he still is, obviously, but I started going and watching him, and I just always loved watching him hit infield. and he'd have that fungo bat. And as soon as he finished hitting, he would flip the fungo bat, reach in his back pocket, pull out that gold watch, and put it back on.
Yeah.
Every single time he did it. It was just like that was his reflex.
You know, he's an amazing guy. And you talk about a standard. I was mentioning standard earlier. He really set the standard early on for what a college baseball coach should be. A guy won more games than any person in any sport in SEC history. You're talking about 1,100 plus wins, and just a man of dignity, of class, and really learned so much from him as a student athlete. When I went there, I couldn't have been more immature or selfish. And he's somebody that really forced you to grow up, but in a very positive way. And I feel incredibly privileged. You know, when you get a little older, you start saying, what if I don't end up at Mississippi State with Ron Polk? What would have happened? You know, and somehow the stars aligned, and I just got to live this charmed life.
What do you miss most about baseball?
You know, I miss the preparation. That's what I love about what we do now. Our staff spent about an hour and a half, 2 hours preparing for something that we're going to introduce later on to a group of stakeholders at Auburn, and that preparation. And we're saying, okay, what if this question is asked? How do we handle this? What if this question is asked? Do we have this a handle on this? And really, that's the coaching background. It's kind of a series of if-then statements for those who have coded before. If this happens, then this is going to happen. That's really what coaching is. And it's not an easy transition, but certainly that does transition from the coaching side to the administrative side.
We were talking about baseball movies and bad baseball movies, and this one falls in the latter category, Summer Catch. Outside of Jessica Biel jumping in a pool, nothing good about it, but it was in the Cape Cod League. You played in the Cape Cod League, and that is the most infamous wood bat league out there. Who are some of the guys you played against, and what do you remember the most about?
Oh, wow. I think Mo Vaughn. You remember Mo Vaughn?
Wow.
There's a bunch of big leaguers, and of course, none of them are going to come to mind right now, but I think the year that I was in the Cape Cod League,
you were living with the host family, right?
I was with the Soreau family. I remember those guys very well. It was just a thrill. You're playing in a league with 10 teams, and your farthest road trip is about 30 miles. I played in Hyannis, and it's just an incredible opportunity. I did figure out, though, when we went to the beach, what water's edge meant. Not like the Gulf here, where you have full-on beaches. The water's edge means your feet better be in the water if you're walking on the beach, because if not, you're standing on somebody's property. But yeah. And I will tell you guys a story too. I playing for Hyannis, the town I was actually in was spelled B-A-R-N, Barn, S-T-A-B-L-E. Barnstable,
right?
Except those in Massachusetts would call it Bonstable.
Oh wow, Bonstable.
So the guy kept asking me, hey, give me your address, and I'd say, blah blah blah, Barnstable, and the guy just looked at me. I have no idea what you're saying. I said, no, Barnstable.
Yes.
And he go, oh, Bonstable. So this kid who grew up in Alabama is really having to learn, Massachusetts, right?
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. Just a great summer.
Growing up, you grew up in Tuscaloosa, did you not?
Did.
You and your wife.
I did. So that makes it interesting.
Yeah, it does. It does.
In fact, a month from now, I'm going to be speaking at my high school's graduation, and I can't imagine being surrounded by more Alabama people than in that environment. But yeah, my father was a law professor at the University of Alabama for almost 40 years. My mother was a public school teacher in Tuscaloosa. My sister Nettie went to Alabama Law School. I think Nell and I, between the two of us, we have 12 Alabama graduates in our family. Neither one of us went to Alabama, but there is a ton of orange and blue in Tuscaloosa, thanks to the Cohens now. We've converted a bunch, and it's exciting for us.
I'm interested in your decision when you came to Auburn. Was that a tough decision for you?
Well, it was a tough decision only because Mississippi State will always be part of who I am. It really, as a student athlete there, as a coach there, as an athletic director there, it's just a wonderful place. It's a place that gave me incredible opportunities. But when Auburn became an opportunity for me, I have always looked at Auburn in this way with reverence to say, man, I mean, if you look at every sport at Auburn, there's been a period of time in which Auburn has been the best in the country at that sport. It doesn't matter whether it's equestrian or softball. Playing for national championships in softball, playing for national championships 3 different times in women's basketball, obviously with what Bruce has done here. Baseball has been to the College World Series 2 of the last 4 years. It just goes on and on. Swimming and diving has national championships. Track and field has national championships. I mean, You're talking about 24 national championships in this place, and at the sports that haven't won a national championship have been really close. And just what an incredible opportunity for me to come back to my home state.
Is there a reason Mississippi State produces athletic directors? I mean, but seriously, because Scott Strickland, Greg Byrne, and yourself, I mean, all in the conference, all started at Mississippi State.
Well, Zach Selman's the athletic director now at Mississippi State and doing a great job. And I've told Zach this many times, he's got to get a degree from Mississippi State, because if he does, there will be 4 athletic directors in the SEC who have a degree from Mississippi
Isn't
State.
that wild, though?
Yeah, you're right. But again, a lot of pride there. And, Mississippi State is led by one of the great presidents in the entire country. And it's just, it really was a great place for me and to raise my family. But this opportunity at Auburn was strong. And they're just, Auburn is really one of those special places in college athletics.
When the SEC meetings happen in Destin and the Texas AD is there, will you guys discuss horns down and how it will not be officiated the same way at the SEC as it is in the Big 12?
Well, Chris is a good friend and he's an excellent AD, and obviously the resources that the University of Texas and quite frankly Oklahoma bring to the league, it really just expands the great brand of this great conference. And when you start looking at it geographically and seeing how these leagues span across the country, and you look at our league geographically, it just makes so much sense. We're still one of those leagues that's not, I'm not just going to say it, not only superior in athletics with incredible academic opportunities among the 16 league schools, but also still condensed into a geographic area that makes sense for our student athletes, for travel, and for our fans.
It's a drivable league, and that is what has set it apart from the Pac-12 and the Big Ten. And the ACC is still now it's getting less drivable. Norman to Columbia, South Carolina is not an easy trip, but it's still in theory doable.
You're still in the eastern half of the United States.
That is true. Yes. Yeah. You don't have to change. You only change one time zone. But I mean, that has been the difficulty with some of those other conferences. It's what I've always liked about the SEC is it seems like the map matters.
It does. And especially for our fans, at one point, the rivalries in the SEC didn't exist. They had to start at one point in time. And I think with Texas and Oklahoma, we're going to look at this, or, we won't be around, but 100 years from now, people will act like those rivalries with Texas and Oklahoma and the rest of our league existed forever.
Yeah.
It has to start somewhere. It's going to start next year. And I think it's one of the most exciting things that's happened to our league in a long time.
Well, back to horns down. Please tell Chris it's not the worst thing he's going to see on the road in the SEC, especially if he goes to Baton Rouge on a Saturday night.
No, there will be some environments.
Yes.
And this league and the environments everywhere are just incredible. And it's so much fun to be around the spirit. I'm not going to say it just means more, because I think that's been said a lot, but I will say this, it's just different.
It's what makes it a great TV product. The home crowds everywhere you go in the league. It's so interesting.
This morning, I was just listening to an interview of somebody who was in the SEC who transferred out of our league and went out west, and he described how much more it means. You can just feel it. It's palpable in this league, and that's why you want to be a part of it. If you're a student athlete, you want to compete against the best, and I don't think there's any doubt that this league brings out the best.
What do you remember about your first meeting with Mike Leach?
Oh, goodness.
He was just because he was always.
We loved him.
Yeah. He would come on whenever, and he was just a great guy. And, a lot of people thought that it was kind of an act, but that was a genuine Mike Leach.
Yeah. Mike Leach is Mike Leach. I've done the 35 minutes on Halloween candy with him before. I've walked into the quarterback room when he was literally analyzing the best 10 fast food hamburgers in America with his quarterback crew.
Who was number one?
Well, he was a huge fan of In-N-Out.
Okay.
Which is the West Coast. Yeah. But one of the kids brought up, and I'm going to insult somebody by saying this, but I think it was the one in Texas.
Whataburger, yeah.
And he said, Whataburger is the most overrated burger in the market. And the kid he was talking to was from Texas, and he wanted to stand up strong for Whataburger. But there's these bonding things. These kids literally would stand in front of traffic for Mike Leach because he was so genuine. They loved him. Even just watching him walk to practice and seeing the way the team would greet him was really a special thing.
Yeah. So, Rockstar, can you tell John Cohen real quick your Mike Leach story when he came on the show that one time?
We had called Mike, and we had about a minute left in this commercial break, and I called him and I said, "Coach, it's Rockstar still able to do a couple minutes with us for an interview?" And he said, "Yeah, that's fine." And I said, "All right, we got about a minute to hold. I'm going to put you." He's like, "Are you going to put me on hold?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm just going to put you on hold." He's like, "I don't want to be put on hold. Just talk to me for that minute. Just talk to me." And I was like, "How you doing?"
That's Mike Leach, isn't it?
Just talk to
It really is.
Yeah.
It really. I'll tell you guys a quick story. My daughter, who works at Ole Miss. Long story there. I won't go into that. My daughter. I know.
Some guys are not afraid to cross lines.
I know. But my daughter was in law school at Wake Forest, and I was walking to practice with Coach Leach. And I was just say, "Hey, Jordan, I'll call you back. I'm with Coach Leach. Let me call you right back." And he said, "Is that your kid who's in law school?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Give me the phone." He's like, "Jordan, hey, this is Mike Leach. Are you in property? Do you take property right now in law school?" And she said, "Yes, sir, I do." And he said, and he went into some case, I can't even remember what it was, for like 5 minutes, just talking about a landmark property case that he studied when he was in law school at Pepperdine, 40 years ago. And I get the phone back, and Jordan's like, "Dad, that guy really knows we just went over that in property, and he's not looking at any notes or anything else." He was an extraordinary man.
Yeah. John Cohen, Auburn Athletic Director. John, thank you very much for the time. Thank you for hosting us down here today. We appreciate it.
War Eagle.
Yeah,
Thank you
good to
very
see you.
much.
Thank you very much.
Our show being brought to you by our friends at Waiter Wellness, your journey to healthy living. Just check them out. Planforme.com, planforme.com. Weight loss, you can jumpstart that journey, but maybe it's blood pressure, cholesterol. Your diet is so important. Leslie and her board-certified team will help you out. No contracts, no sign-up fee, and the first consultation is free. Planforme.com, that's Waiter Wellness. We're back at Auburn. A whole much more to come, including Maddie Penta, the great softball pitcher legend here at Auburn. We'll talk to her. And later on, some football, including our NIL guy we had last year, Elijah McAllister, will swing by and say hi to us. He's an alumni now, right?
That's right. He's an alumni of our show and of Auburn. Yeah.
So we'll talk to him coming up right here on the Next Round from Auburn.
Everything Alabama, all the time. Subscribe and set alerts at Roll Tide Pods on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Ready to swap from your current auto or RV loan provider and drop your interest rate? Now is your chance. With Legacy Credit Union's annual swap and drop promotion, you can swap your current loan and save with Legacy in minutes. Whether you're a member or a potential member, Legacy Credit Union is here to help you drive into savings. Go online to swapanddrop.com or visit one of their 9 locations to take advantage of this incredible offer. Limited time offer, terms and conditions may apply. See Credit Union for details. Federally insured by the NCUA. NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Coolray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Fire damage to your home or business is something you never want to consider. Ryan Brown here from the Next Round. But in the horrible event it happens, Dry Tech is here to help. They respond quickly and will reply to you within 20 minutes when you call 205-637-0143. They're working for you, the customer, not the insurance company. They've got 5 crews ready to go 24/7. Don't call the insurance company first. Call Dry Tech. Just remember this website, mydrytech.com. That is mydrytech.com.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway.
Must be 21 or older, must be present to win. The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by Amherst, at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
It's that time of year. Hoops, hops, and wings with our friends at Walk-Ons. We're talking about the unbelievable madness of the best viewing and the best food in town.
This tournament season, try any of the 3 local walk-ons in Trussville, Stadium Trace in Hoover, and also the Greystone location. A wonderful menu with original food, great drinks, but most importantly in tournament season, TVs everywhere, so you can keep up with how your bracket's burning.
Your home for all the tournament action is Walk-On Sports Bistro.
Our show being brought to you in part today from the Auburn football facility down here. Athletics hosting us down here. We'll get into some Auburn football, their spring game coming up at Jordan-Hare Stadium. And we'll talk to the legendary Maddie Penta at the top of the hour here. I love it when you're legendary and you're still a pitcher in school. It means you've done something fantastic already. We'll talk to her at the top of the hour. The show being brought to you in part by our friends at Hemp Hill Services, LT.
205-229-2090. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted us for all of their plumbing, heating, and cooling needs since 1954. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there. Tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
All right. People keep asking, when is our coverage from Phoenix starting? Everything on our platforms, just like we did at the SEC tournament in Nashville when Auburn was the champions, just like when we were in Spokane and LA, we'll be in Phoenix. Taylor and I will both be out there in Phoenix. Our coverage will start on the platforms on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. All coverage, whether Alabama's in the championship game or not. Taylor and I learned yesterday that our coverage will continue all the way through the national championship. And we're excited about that out there in the desert, in the Glendale, Scottsdale, Phoenix area, brought to you by our friends at MyBookie.
Yeah, MyBookie.ag, Lance, where UConn is still a 12-point favorite. Purdue's still a 9.5-point favorite. You can play those games at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere at MyBookie.ag. You think that's where it's going to stay?
Yeah. I saw it dip yesterday for a moment. It was 10.5 for a moment yesterday.
Yeah, I think it will go off about 11.5 or 12.
Okay. And then Purdue at 9.5 still, you think?
I think it could creep up to 10.
The total is 13 points lower than what Bama and North Carolina
Not
was.
that this means anything, but I do think the smart money is going to come on the favorites late.
Okay. Late money, smart money on the favorites.
All right. 3 times double digit. I think I heard the stat with Danny Cannell this morning driving down. 3 times the Final Four semifinals been double digits, and the underdogs have covered all 3 times, but have not advanced.
I did read in the chat room that the Ken Palm that yesterday, and I may get this wrong, and I wish I could give credit to whoever put this in the chat room, but it was moving so fast. This is the 4th best Ken Palm team, this UConn team, the 4th best Ken Palm team in their history, all right, on their analytics. But only one of the other 3 won the national championship. So it has not been a shoo-in that best team wins a national championship. And I'm not going to know who the one is or the other 3 for that matter. Yeah. But I saw that in the chat room yesterday.
So if you missed it at the start of the show, Alabama practicing today, getaway news conference for Nate Oates, and then the team will be flying out around 3 o'clock-ish, back out to the West Coast to Phoenix, and then they will do the rest of their work out there and get ready for their game Saturday night, last game against UConn. And it was interesting when they chose the TV network. They chose to put UConn and Bama in that primetime later slot, and that's where the higher-rated game usually goes. So maybe they're sending you a sign thinking that game is going to be competitive. Nate Oates and company will give it a shot. Preparation continuing in Tuscaloosa. Emily Grace McWhorter is there today for the news conference. She'll hopefully give us a positive update on Latrell Wrightsell, who has been out since his injury in Spokane. The discussion had been that he would get back to Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, be reevaluated for his concussion, and then possibly, according to his family, if cleared, give it a go in the national semifinal game.
That'd be huge.
And all hands on deck to add another body and another guard would be great.
You know, he only averages, Lance, 9 points a game. He feels like he's far more important, though, than 9 points a game, doesn't he?
He absolutely does. And that's a guy that again, when you talk about the collection of shooters Nate Oates has got, he's one of the best pure shooters they've got. And obviously, the head injuries kept him out the last couple of games, and other guys have stepped up. But as Dunaway said, all hands on deck against this UConn team.
The folks with Barber Motorsports and Indy Racing coming back to Birmingham as well.
It's the road to the Indy 500, and it runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. Fastest IndyCar drivers in the world. Guys like Castroneves, Dixon, Newgarden will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind, and that is victory. You can witness country music superstar Riley Green as the Grand Marshal giving the most iconic command in racing. Start your engines. Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by AmFirst at Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast, so get yours now.
Yeah, and also by our friends at Coca-Cola. We're about to talk to Maddie Penta. In her time at Auburn, she has set records, and she has added a little spice to the Auburn softball program. We'll talk about her career and what's ahead in the future when we come back. Coca-Cola has spiced up their drink this summer with Coca-Cola Spiced, a little added spice flavor and a hint of raspberry, perfect for the summer. Try it at your local retailer. The next round today on the road in Auburn. Everything Auburn athletics when we come back for hour number 2.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
You got to look your best to play your best, and our friends at Bandwagon can help your team find the perfect uniforms for that upcoming season. Bandwagon is with you every step of the way, from developing your team logo design to choosing from their multitude of samples. You name the sport, they can make it happen. To get your uniform journey started, you can shoot them a message on any social media platform or check out their website, bandwagonsports.com. That's bandwagonsports.com. Next Round listeners, it's time to jump on the bandwagon.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
The wait is over. Tonali has arrived. Beautifully distinctive Italian styling and performance. Come test drive the all-new 2024 Alfa Romeo Tonali plug-in hybrid at Alfa Romeo of Birmingham. The all-new Tonali offers best-in-class horsepower and torque, fastest 0 to 60 times in its class, plus best-in-class range with full electric charge. And best of all, qualified Tonali leasees are eligible for up to $7,500 EV tax credit factored into your lease. Hurry down to Alfa Romeo of Birmingham and experience the all-new Tonali.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
NASCAR is returning to Talladega Super Speedway for the 2024 Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th through Sunday, April 21. Guarantee your 2024 Geico 500 weekend experience today by visiting TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or calling 877-GO-TO-DEGA. Enhance your race weekend by adding passes to the Talladega Garage Experience, presented by Cool Ray. It is the Geico 500 weekend, Saturday, April 20th and Sunday, April 21st. Guarantee your spot now, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com or 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Man, that's a bold question. But it's got that irresistible taste to back it up. One thing's for sure, when you've got an irresistible, tasty match like Zero Sugar and 0 calories, something sensational is bound to happen. It's too bad you can't taste it with your ears, because this Coke Zero Sugar tastes amazing. Truthfully, it's hard to put into words, and that's my job. You'll have to take a taste for yourself. Coke Zero Sugar. Best Coke ever?
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, and Rockstar. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
We're back at Auburn, hour number 2 now of the next round. Jim, Lance, Ryan, and we'll introduce you to Maddie in just a second. An opportunity to talk speed with one of the best pitchers in the SEC and the best pitcher in Auburn softball history. But speed is returning to Talladega NASCAR Racing April 19th through the 21st. 2 races on Saturday, 1 on Sunday. We always encourage you to upgrade your tickets to the Garage Experience. Right there, Big Bill's Garage there. You can stand right there in the garage and watch your favorite drivers work in their cars and as my wife likes to do, just people watch the weekend at Talladega Racing, camping all week long, April 19th through the 21st. Get your tickets for the Geico 500 and the Walker Hayes concert. That ticket's good for the Walker Hayes concert on Saturday night, the race on Sunday. TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, TalladegaSuperspeedway.com, 877-GO-TO-DEGA.
Maddie Penta is with us. As Jim said, the legendary Auburn pitcher. Does that sound weird to call you legendary? Is that okay with you?
A little bit.
A little bit. You're kind of young. You're kind of young to be legendary, right? She might be surprised that the three of us have done a show from Ocean City, Maryland. That's not terribly far from where you grew up, right?
No, it's where I go in the summers.
Do you? You go to Ocean City? Yeah. So are you a little surprised we did a show from there? What was the name of the place? Secrets? Was that
Secrets?
Secrets.
Everybody knows where Secrets is.
Secrets.
I think I do.
Yeah. Everybody knows where
Don't waste
Secrets
your
is.
time.
Is that the one that had the tables in the water?
In the water.
In the water.
Yeah. Into a dance club.
Yeah. Literally tables out in the bay.
Yeah.
Kind of a weird place to sit and eat.
I don't think I've ever been, but I know my friends have been.
Okay, you are from Chesapeake Bay, though, and how close is that to the Francis Scott Key Bridge with the disaster that happened a couple of weeks ago and some of the more amazing footage that I've ever seen? Did you have family or friends that were affected?
So my mom and her friend actually came down last Wednesday, later in the day. Actually, no. They started driving Tuesday, so in that Tuesday morning is when it fell. And they would have gone over that bridge on their way down here to come watch our games. So thankfully they were driving a couple hours later after it happened.
Yeah.
But it's really sad. And I mean, it is like 45 minutes from home. But thankfully nobody.
So you've driven across it a bunch.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you in this sport, I was telling you how I fell in love with the sport. How old were you when you started playing softball? Do you remember? Were you a baseball player first and beating up on the boys and then switch to softball, or how did it start for you?
So, I mean, I guess when I played like T-ball and coach pitch, I technically played baseball, but I started softball at 8.
Yeah, because your mom was pretty good, right?
Yeah,
Was
she
she a
played
pitcher?
in college. She started at St. Joseph's University in Pennsylvania, and then she moved to University of Delaware.
Yeah. So would you say, as a coach, your mom, was she hard nosed on you a little bit, or was she pretty soft on you compared to other coaches?
No, she was tough on me. But I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, she was my pitching coach for pretty much my entire career. I didn't have anybody else. So she was awesome, and I am the person and the pitcher that I am today because of her.
The first time, I will never forget this, the first time I ever saw someone pitch on your level, and this is going to be a huge compliment to you, is Jenny Fitch, who I suppose you know who I'm talking about there. I did an event for a big sporting goods company once that I had to MC, and they said, she's going to pitch, and we think it'd be cool if you stood in like you're the batter. I was like, okay, cool. I'd never seen anything up close like this. That blew me away. Like the movement she could put on it and the top of the mitt when she would throw. I mean, it's incredible watching your craft. And I'm sure someone like her, it's somebody you were striving to be when you were a kid. It's just incredible to watch your craft like that.
Mm-hmm. I actually have a signed ball by her.
Do you?
In
She's a
my
very nice person.
childhood bedroom, yeah.
Yeah, very nice person. That blew me away though. Like, I mean, she at one point she's like, okay, I'm going to start it out at Ryan, but it's going to break all the way across the plate. And I was like, whoa, you're going to do what? I mean, I know you're maybe the best to ever do it, but I don't know if I'm comfortable with this. But she started it out with me at me, and it moved across the plate.
So we were talking earlier, the first Major League no-hitter was thrown last night, the Astros, the earliest in Major League Baseball history, and he discounts no-hitters. But did I see that you threw 3 in one postseason in high school?
I don't even know if I remember that. If I did, that would be really cool.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah.
I can't remember it. Back then, I was just out there throwing. I didn't really think much about it.
But is it, when we were talking earlier about superstitions in baseball, and when you're obviously everybody stays away from the pitcher, same thing in softball?
Kind of. If I'm having a day.
If you're having a day?
Yeah.
Did you tell early you're going to have a day?
Usually, as soon as I wake up, am I locked in or am I willing to have a little fun?
How do you, okay. How do you know if you're locked in?
I don't know.
Like it's just a feel? Like you wake up and oh, it's a locked in day for me.
I guess the best way to describe it is if I'm like angry or not.
Oh, no. Wow. Oh. All right, here we go, girls. Maddie's in a mood. We got a double coming our way.
You were in the bathroom. I gave Dunaway another out. I said, if he will allow Maddie to, because he was like, what are you topping out at? And I think he said 74.
Yeah.
I said, if you'll let her put a 74 in your ribs, we'll call it even too, because that's good content, right, Taylor?
Yeah. It would be like the cartoon. I picture it, Maddie. It would go in here and it would come out the other side.
Or would he just turn to dust?
What is the 74 equivalent in baseball? Do you know?
I think it's around like 103.
Okay, yeah. I mean,
I always love that when you guys do that. It's like,
well, I have to know.
Stopped out at
you just talked him out.
Yeah, she would have said, "Oh, that's only like 82."
The first thing I said to her was, if I stand in the batter's box, would you wouldn't hit me, right? She's not if I wanted to. Yeah, I could not hit you unless I wanted to. So. And if I caught Maddie in a bad mood, I think she's the kind of person that would hit me if I wanted to back me off the plate. So the SEC, I've always loved the fact that, I mean, there's not a bad team in the league. Everywhere you go, that team deserves to be ranked if they're not ranked, and in any other league they'd be ranked. Just the competition you guys face in the league week in and week out. Talk to me about that. And is it exciting? Is it tiresome? What's it like being in the SEC in your sport?
Yeah, it can be a little bit of both, It is a grind every single weekend, and you're knowing that you're preparing for a ranked opponent. And I think that in the SEC, no matter what team you are, you're taking a beating from somebody else in the SEC. And it's definitely something you have to be mentally prepared for and be mentally tough. But I really look forward to those games just to be able to challenge myself and see what I'm capable of.
Other than your own park, is there a visitor's park in the SEC you like pitching in the best?
Florida.
At Florida, why?
Yes. Well, first of all, I have some family, like at least half of my family that lives down there, so they all come to that game when we played there last year. They also just have a great stadium. The sunshine, the warm weather, palm trees. A really beautiful stadium they have built down there. Yeah.
A lot of people focus on how much more difficult like football will be when Oklahoma and Texas come to the league. Your sport, though, I mean, that's insane. I mean, Oklahoma is one of the standard bearers in that sport.
Well, I won't have to be here for that.
I know you won't, but I'm just, but the
you got to pitch against them in your career on the road, did you?
It was last year. We went out to Oklahoma City and we played them. We played them twice. And I pitched in the second game and got taken out in the fifth, but I gave up 4 runs, so not too bad.
Yeah. What was it? Was it a 4-1 game? Is that the way it ended, or something like that?
It ended up like 7-1.
7-1. Yeah. It was 4-1 when you got taken. I stopped watching when they took you out. It was 4-1. I thought. Yeah. So your high school. Say your high school. Do you remember your high?
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Not 80.
What was the name of your high school?
Bohemia Manor.
Bohemia Manor.
That sounds.
That's what I was about to say. I went to a place called Thompson. Obviously, we ate square pizza. Bohemia Manor. What did the butler that served your food look like in the lunchroom every day? It sounds very.
No, this sounds like a super exclusive private school.
No, Bohemia Manor. I graduated with 75 kids. Really small school.
So it's public?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Really?
It does not sound like a public school.
It does not. It sounds white tablecloth.
No, so I mean, we had a little bit of everything because we were in a rural part of Maryland, but we're surrounded by cities. Philly to the north, and Baltimore is near. So I feel like you had a little bit of everything in my high school. You had the country kids who had a little bit of an accent, and then you had me. I was kind of in the middle. I was just chilling, and then you had the girls that were gonna move to the city. You knew they were going to.
Yeah.
But it was fun. I love living.
I just saw a little bit of Ocean City in you there. I just saw that attitude a little bit there.
But I actually love living in Maryland because that's exactly what you get. You get a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love where I'm.
What's the Bohemia Manor mascot? I'm sorry, Bohemia Manor. The Eagles. Oh, okay.
Well, that works, right?
Yeah, but I thought it was gonna be something like the Gargoyles or something like that.
Is Wedding Crashers the best Maryland movie?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
You've never seen
it. You need to see that. It's good for a road trip.
That's us saying we're old.
Yeah,
right there.
How long has that been out? What year?
I mean, it's almost 20 years old. I think 2005.
There you go.
Yeah,
I'll have to go watch it.
Yeah, it's a funny movie, and it's all crab cakes in Maryland.
That's what they say.
No, that's what they say.
Crab cakes and football.
Crab cakes and football. It gets mentioned in the movie like 1,000 times.
I'm sure you're a Bradley Cooper fan. Is Bradley Cooper when he was just a supporting actor?
Yeah.
Okay.
Eagles
Washington football team or Ravens? Do you have
Eagles.
a Eagles all the way?
I'm a Philly fan. Yeah.
So Phillies 2,
Mhm.
Sixers,
Um,
Flyers.
I'm not really into basketball so much, but not the Flyers, the Washington Capitals.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, wait a minute. So you're Philadelphia football, Washington Capitals hockey.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Phillies baseball.
And then Phillies baseball.
Phillies baseball is my
captured
favorite.
you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I went to my first hockey game like 2 years ago, and that's where we went. So I
Oh,
gotta
okay.
be a fan.
That's natural then.
Ovechkin, right? Is he there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me ask you. So Bryce Harper's in the box. How would you pitch him?
Um,
And do you think he'd get a bat on it? When you hit 74.
I mentioned Jenny Fitch. She did that thing with Pools, right?
She did it with a lot. And you know what scared me about it, and it's obviously different from their perspective, but boy, if they got a hold of one and came back up the box, it'd be a problem, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. So how do you pitch Bryce Harper?
I think from what I remember, he hits low and in pretty well. So I think I'm going rise ball out.
Rise ball out.
Working rise balls out, change ups out. I think that would do the trick.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah?
changeup is your go-to, is it not?
Yes.
Yeah. You don't get him off the plate early. You don't come inside, little heat inside, get him off the plate some so you can bust him outside.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is that, do you still throw a circle change
No.
from, okay. I don't know. I'm just asking.
Stago tip pitches.
I throw a flip change. So I hold it same as a fastball, but I come in and I flip my hand upside down.
Okay.
Is that a fairly common pitch in or is that
It's definitely the hardest change up to learn.
right?
But it's the best one.
Right.
I think a good amount of pitchers in the SEC throw it, but I know a lot of people still do throw a circle change or like a knuckleball or something, because the flip change is so hard to learn. But I think the best changeups you see in the game are flip changes.
You ever hurt your hand on your leg?
Yes.
Some pitchers do that every pitch, don't they?
So I do that every pitch.
Yeah.
But I have to wear my belt backwards. So the buckle's back here because if I throw a rise ball, I come and I bash my fingers against the metal part. Yeah, that hurts really bad.
I will never.
Could you just maybe move the buckle?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Well, I mean, technically the buckle is here. It's moved.
Yeah.
Back.
I don't know if you know this. There may be a new apparel deal here soon, so we may be able to
Yeah,
design a specially belt for you. Yeah.
Something different.
Yeah. I would tell you that I will never not see that again. Every time you pitch, I'll check with a belt buckle.
Yeah, that's
I've never
interesting.
noticed that.
I mean, you didn't talk about superstitions earlier. That's not a superstition, but I bet you would feel weird if the belt is moved back around front, wouldn't you?
Yeah. I always change it as soon as I start pitching, like, because we start with long toss for warm up.
Right.
I just take the belt off for most of my warm up, but then I have to wear it for the game.
Oh, is that so? It's
by rule.
By rule, you have to have a belt on.
Well, no, but you know,
Don't want your
look
pants
like a
coming
ball
up.
player.
Yeah.
Hey, so last night we were talking about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and they've had a back and forth for, I guess, going back to last year's championship game. How much do you guys talk trash?
Quite a bit, I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Are you one that talks to batters, dugouts?
Sometimes. Yeah. The other day against Tennessee, the girl was standing off the base, and I said, "Don't make me throw this ball over there."
Like a parent.
That did not sound too intimidating.
I know. I'm not very good at being intimidating, but because I'm kind of a goofball out there, I can't take it seriously. But I remember last year we did. There were some teams that we got into it with, but never anything serious. But trash talking. Ole Miss was one in particular. Because sometimes those dugouts, they got some things to say.
Yeah, they're pretty close in your sport.
Yep.
I mean, it's not far. It's not far away.
But we used to have Denver Bryant. She would play third. She would always chirp at them. That was always fun. I love listening to her do that.
Well, thank you for your time, and good luck for the rest of this year and whatever you do next. And whenever you go back to Bohemian Manor or whatever it's called, I hope they hang. Do they already have your jersey hanging up there?
Not my jersey, but they have the Gatorade Player of the Year banners up in the lobby. Yeah.
Oh, just the Gatorade players.
Yeah.
You get any Gatorade with that? I know you get full access here, but
we got like a little gift set. So I got like this cool backpack, and we got the new Gatorade like pod things and the water bottle that goes with it, because back then that was like the first year that they were doing that. So we got that, but it was like enough for like 2.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's our Player of the Year.
Now in NIL, who knows what it is for the new Gatorade Player of the Year. Maddie, thank you for being with us. The show being brought to you today by our friends at Woodhouse Day Spa. if we'd have known you back then, we'd have given you something for Woodhouse Day Spa back then.
Over a menu of over 70 options, body massages, waxing, nail services, all located right there at the Summit Shopping Center. Stop in, beautiful new area that they've added on. If you're looking to throw a bachelorette party, you can do special events up there. Stop in, see Stuart and the fine folks. Located the Summit Shopping Centers. It is voted Alabama and United States best day spa out there. It's the Woodhouse Day Spa.
This is how we get paid, Maddie. This is
That's
our
right.
NIL right here.
This is our NIL.
Like our friends at Johnson RV. If you're
That's
looking
right.
for an RV,
want another one?
Johnson RV Center.
Yeah, watch this. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman. You do it every day. You memorize it. Exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, and always online at johnstonrvcenter.com. They've repriced everything on the lot, and they're so confident in their pricing that they will do a price match guarantee. They'll beat any price nationwide on a comparable RV. Just bring them the price, and they'll beat it. And don't forget the United States military, how much we appreciate you. They do, too. They're at Johnston RV Center. Discounts for active duty and retired military. Just ask them. I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, johnstonrvcenter.com.
Just look over at Elijah McAllister. He joined us every week back during the football season. He's so tired of hearing these commercials.
That's right.
Waiting on the
He got paid for it, though.
Waiting on the Zoom. We're back to Auburn with Elijah, our old friend, next right here on the Next Round from Auburn.
Follow Rockstar on Twitter at RockstarBHM.
Is Coke Zero Sugar the best Coke ever? Man, that's a bold question. But it's got that irresistible taste to back it up. One thing's for sure, when you've got an irresistible, tasty match like Zero Sugar and 0 calories, something sensational is bound to happen. It's too bad you can't taste it with your ears, because this Coke Zero Sugar tastes amazing. Truthfully, it's hard to put into words, and that's my job. You'll have to take a taste for yourself. Coke Zero Sugar. Best Coke ever?
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Tournament time is almost here, but any time is a great time to jump on with MyBookie.ag. When you sign up at MyBookie.ag, use code NEXTROUND for a special sign-on bonus. You can use that bonus right away. Win once with it, it is yours and yours forever. Not like some of the sites that make you win 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times before you keep the bonus. You win once at MyBookie.ag, it is yours forever. Basketball tournaments, NBA, the start of Major League Baseball, NASCAR, and golf. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix, powered by Amherst, at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call guttercapbirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Back with you to Auburn as we roll on today. We're about to talk to our buddy Elijah McAllister again. He's going to participate in 4 downs with us as well. But a reminder that our friends at Legacy have an opportunity right now for you to, if you got a car loan, a boat loan, a truck loan, whatever kind of loan you have from one financial provider, you can bring it over to Legacy. It's called the Swap and Drop program, swapanddrop.com, swapanddrop.com. You lower your monthly payment, you lower your long-term payment, 5.5% APR. It's the Swap and Drop program with our friends at Legacy. Everything you need to know, swapanddrop.com, swapanddrop.com. 9 area local branches for you right there with our friends at Legacy Credit Union, a proud supporter of UAB Athletics.
Elijah McAllister joined us throughout the football season, so you guys know this guy. We don't have to introduce him too much, but it's good to see you again, my friend. How you been?
Thank you for having me. I'm doing well.
Good. And working after a pro day, right? You've had your pro day, so now we're working, anticipating the NFL draft, but most importantly, still taking a full class load, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, definitely am right now. It's been unique, obviously, balancing it throughout the season and still doing it now. It's fun. I got a little more free time to continue to, work on my studies, but it's been pretty good so far.
What are you hearing about the draft? Is it something where, you obviously talk projections where you're slotted, but if it doesn't work out, free agency, has that been on the table?
Yeah, definitely. I think, for me, a lot of times college athletes can get, too bogged down in the box score and not having, as many sacks as they want from me as a defensive end or not having as many touchdowns as a wide receiver. But the scouts watch the tape, and I was pleasantly surprised by, how the scouts talked about me and what they liked seeing on tape, particularly against some formidable opponents, which is nice. It kind of gave me a little confidence boost going into, me being able to have confidence and having the opportunity to play at the next level.
I'm wondering, are they telling you you need to change physically for a position? Do they challenge you to be this way when we get to maybe time to show up at a camp?
Yeah, 100%. I think for me, I'm 6'6", I'm 275 right now, and I have really long arms and a pretty good athlete. And for me, this past year I played in the stand-up 3-4 outside backer role. I won't really be able to drop in coverage in the NFL. So they want me to put on a couple more pounds and try to play that 4-3 defensive end. Be about 285 and, continuing to set good edges, which is nice to hear. And I know I can do that. My body can hold that frame.
Yeah. See, I wasn't going to bring it up, but I was going to say, you look like you may have put on a pound or two.
It's fine. Yeah, I definitely have lifting all that upper body.
Hey, this guy knows his exact pound. It's like a supermodel. Like asking, what are you today?
189.4.
Oh, wow. So you're on it every day.
Yeah, every day.
Is that weird or good to know that?
I feel like that's a little weird. I can't.
Yeah. But I'm a little weird too. Yeah. But I've always, because I have to worry about what I'm eating to keep my weight from in a bad way. You're trying to put on weight for a position change. So just tell me something fun. You're like, are you pounding like peanut butter and jelly before bed every night? What are you doing?
Yeah, you try to just take scoops of peanut butter, at night or in the morning just to add some extra calories. And I'm a big Chipotle guy, so I try to eat that as much as I can because you get a lot of food for, not a lot of price. So
do you get guac?
Yeah, I do guac, get all that guac, sour cream. It's probably not great for you if you're not
training. Oh, it's a good fat from what I hear.
Yeah, it's good fat. That, some avocado.
Would you rather have to gain 30 or lose 30?
Lose could be easy for me to do. I'm probably
so
not.
Wow, so much rather gain 30.
It'd be so easy to do.
Exactly.
Well, he just has to eat normal then, and then it's going to drop off of him, at least now.
Yeah. Enjoy your metabolism.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. You talk about your long arm. You do have a wingspan, and you talked about being an athlete. I would assume you could play some hoop, right?
Yeah. I played basketball my whole life. It was my first love. It's something that, you can be good at an early age. It takes a little bit of time to get good at football because you don't got to control your body.
I mean, going back to last year's roster, like if you guys would have done a hoop it up, a 3-on-3, I mean, would you have been one of the first guys picked?
100%. Me, Brandon Frazier, he plays tight end, and then we'll probably throw like Jarquez in there.
Can Fairweather play?
Yeah, Valdo can play.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah, he's one of those guys up there too.
That guy's got to get more touches this year.
Man, he will for sure. Like you said, he's going to double every number, and he can do it.
And that could be one of those guys that's off the radar. And speaking of the NFL draft, I mean, that guy's got the skill set where scouts could be like, wow.
Yes, I mean, I played with and against a ton of NFL players, and Valdo's right up there with him. He's got a ton of athleticism, and he's productive in this league, so it'd be nice to see it this year.
Well, all of our friends have been asking about you. All of our viewers have been saying, what's up with Elijah? What's he doing in the draft? So we're glad to update you on that. Would you do 4 downs with us?
Yeah, for sure. Let's do
Okay,
it.
4 downs. He even says, let's do it.
Let's
4
do it.
downs brought to you by our friends at Slice. Tell us about Slice, LT.
5 locations now. The original Lakeview, Vestavia, Montevallo, Crestline Park, and now Edgewood right there on the corner of Oxmoor and Broadway in Homewood. Stop and see the Vajaya Brothers local pizza, local ingredients from the soul pie to the hot mama. You're going to absolutely love it. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Okay, I got to find my 4 downs here, fellas. I think it's under me.
It's right here.
Yeah, there it is. There it is. I have it. No. Okay, what happens first? Bruce Pearl back to a Final Four, or Hugh Freeze wins a playoff game?
Wow. Well, that's tough. I got to back my head coach, Hugh Freeze, getting back to the playoff game and winning one. It's expanding. We're in the best league in the country. We're going to play against tough competition, win a lot of games, so I got to go with Coach.
See, I think year 2 is always for outstanding coaches a big jump. So I think this team can win 10 games this year. But, Bruce has got this thing dialed in. It's a tough question. Where do you guys go?
I go with Auburn winning a playoff game before they get back to the Final Four.
Yeah, Final Four is tough, man.
That's no knock against Bruce and the guys, but Final Four is tough.
I know, but getting to a 12 team is going to be tough.
It is.
And then winning a game, obviously.
But in the SEC, I feel like if you're 10-2 in the regular season, I think that should put you into college football playoffs. I think the SEC will have 3-4 teams in every year. So if you're 10-2, and I think this Auburn team coming up this year can make a run at 10-2.
I believe it for sure. I mean, I think about the games we even dropped last year and how close they were. And people always say, I've never been married before. They say after year 1 of a marriage, everything's smooth sailing. So the guys that are in the locker room right now want to be here. The coaching staff that's here wants to be here. They're building. They got the guys in the locker room that people have recruited. So it's nice to, have that confidence going into year 2.
Whoever gave you that analogy,
I might
they hadn't been to like year 6, 7, 8.
I mean,
I'm a divorced guy though, so
I've got a great marriage myself. I would not characterize it as smooth sailing after year 1, but okay.
We hope for you.
I mean, you're 25, but I have a good strength of schedule. So.
Second down.
Okay, so you played obviously at Vanderbilt, so you know Nashville extremely well, and just the growth from where you were there before to where it is right now. But if I ask you one weekend with the guys, you can do Nashville or Las Vegas, where would you go?
Nashville. I think because I know the area very well. I've been there a ton of times, and I know the good places to go. It's very good food, and I feel like the pricing would be a lot less than Vegas.
No, there's no doubt. Well, I don't know. Hotel.
Nashville. I mean, it's 300 is the basement.
Yeah, Nashville hotels are ridiculous.
Stay at Circus for $25.
Yeah, I mean, I got. You can. That Circus is a dump. But he's right. The hotels in Vegas are much cheaper.
You were asking where the elephants are from the circuses? They got them at Circus.
I want to go Las Vegas because I want to do a concert in the new Sphere.
See, I'm not are you a U2 guy? I'm about to get music because I know you're a music guy. I'm just not a U2 guy. I like some of their old stuff, but if I'm going to get dizzy and motion sickness, it ain't going to be the U2.
But eventually they'll have other people play there, right? It won't always be
you think.
They'll die eventually.
Yeah. Eventually, yes. Yeah. They will pass away. I believe that is true of us all.
Anybody.
It's undefeated.
Let's do third down.
Second down.
I think one time when we had you on, you were talking about you like to sing, right? Don't you have a good voice?
Yeah, I got a decent voice, I think.
Oh, didn't you just like ain't no mountain high enough or something? I mean, I don't know what your genre is.
I'm not a big singer for the public.
Okay.
I usually like to do it in the
Well, that wasn't going to be the question. I was just going to ask you, better pure voice, Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston?
Whitney Houston.
Wow. Quick answer.
It's not even close. She's one of
not even close.
Boy, I'll tell you, I mean, I know record sales don't dictate a good voice, Taylor Swift, but Mariah Carey early on, like one of the most pure voices. Everybody remembers the Whitney Houston. I think it was 1991, the national anthem in Tampa.
Yeah.
I mean, both to me, it's tough.
I'm kind of with Elijah. I think it's Whitney. Yeah. I think her voice may be unmatched.
The same. I think, it talks about just pure voices, just natural. I think she just naturally wake up and she can sing with the best of them. Best, I think.
Okay.
I'll go Whitney as well. Fourth down.
Okay, so I'm going to stick with a singer. Marvin Gaye would have been 85 today.
Wow.
Cut short. Actually was murdered 40 years ago yesterday, day before his birthday, which is crazy.
Ooh.
But if I asked you ultimately who has the better career, Marvin Gaye, the late Marvin Gaye, or Joe Burrow, Cincinnati Bengals quarterback? We have to do some weird comparisons.
I'm trying to compare the two. Like, how in the world?
Okay, heard it through the grapevine. Let's get it on.
Super Bowl.
You got to go Marvin Gaye though.
I mean, Joe Burrow's
like my default.
Well, I mean, you tell me. So Burrow's already played. He's won a national championship, a Heisman. He's played in a Super Bowl. If he was to win a Super Bowl, I've got to go Burrow over.
Is that recency bias though? You think?
I think there's some recency bias in there. Yeah. I think if you had lived through more Marvin Gaye, you might go more Marvin.
Did Marvin Gaye do sexual healing?
He did.
Mic drop.
Yeah,
It's over.
he's good.
Joe
Fuck
Burrow
him.
will never be that good.
Is it on one of your playlists?
Once a week.
25
years of
Is
marriage.
this dinner for one playlist?
That Sports House brought to you by our friends at Slice.
5 great locations. Make sure you stop and see the Bajaya Brothers. Tell them the guys from the next round sent you that newest location at Edgewood. You're going to love it. Local pizza, local ingredients.
Elijah, good luck with the NFL later this month as he gets ready for that. Good luck putting on 10 more pounds.
Oh,
Yeah, you're so lucky.
I wish I could do that.
We'll talk to a couple of guys who will be a big part in Auburn making the college football playoff, or at least a run for that when we come back the next round. Live today from down here in Auburn, the show being brought to you in part by our friends at Odie's, one of the great places to go watch March Madness, the Final Four this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, a great place. There's something all the time at Odie's. You got live music on Friday and Saturday. As Dunaway said, great place to watch Final Four. But Odie's Team Trivia, me and Rockstar and Will be out there tomorrow night. That's at 8 o'clock at the original location, Crestline Village, the newest location in Edgewood. Stop in, see Will Haver and that great staff. Ice-cold beer buckets full of Bud Light. Incredible food from Rodney Davis. 2 locations. It's Odie's Tavern.
Back in a moment.
Follow Scott Forrester on Twitter at Scott Forrester TV.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
The road to the Indy 500 runs through Birmingham, April 26th through 28th. The fastest IndyCar drivers in the world, Castroneves, Dixon, and Newgarden, will put their skills to the test with one goal in mind: victory. Witness country music superstar Riley Green as Grand Marshal give the most iconic command in racing. Start your engine! Medical Properties Trust presents the Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix powered by Amherst at the Barber Motorsports Park. Tickets are selling fast. Get yours now.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about our friends at Gutter Cap. Gutter Cap's that patented aluminum cover system that fits over most existing gutters to keep out debris and eliminate that gutter cleaning. It's backed with a lifetime warranty, almost 20-year service record right here in Birmingham. Stay off that dangerous ladder forever. 45% off the retail price now if you call GutterCapBirmingham.com. Call my good friend Chris Stewart now, 205-823-2212. Cap it, don't snap it. It's Gutter Cap.
It's that time of year. Hoops, hops, and wings with our friends at Walk-Ons. We're talking about the unbelievable madness of the best viewing and the best food in town.
This tournament season, try any of the 3 local walk-ons in Trussville, Stadium Trace in Hoover, and also the Greystone location. A wonderful menu with original food, great drinks, but most importantly in tournament season, TVs everywhere, so you can keep up with how your bracket's burning.
Your home for all the tournament action is Walk-On Sports Bistro.
All right, we continue on the next round live from Auburn, the football complex. Quarterback Payton Thorne, tight end Luke Dill about to join us as soon as Lance tells you about Hemp Hill Services.
205-229-2090. Trust, the name Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling needs. Adam, Chad, Andrew, tell them the next round sent you. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Welcome in, guys. Everybody good?
Absolutely. Great.
Yeah.
Great. Glad to be here.
So are you guys good buddies?
Yeah, pretty good buddies. Yeah, we're very.
That helps. I mean, when you're buddies with the quarterback, if you won't get some grabs, right?
Yeah, that was super strategic for me.
Yeah, it
no,
was.
No, he's a good dude, so it wasn't too tough.
So when Luke walked up, he was like, it is Whitney Houston. It's not even close. She's the greatest of all time. So if I ask you this, I don't personally like the guy. I think I'm probably in the minority. I don't like Travis Kelce. I think he's probably the best tight end ever. Elijah said, is it in the moment? It might be. I mean, Antonio Gates was a complete stud. Tony Gonzalez was a stud. But if I had to ask you, I mean, playing the position, who was the greatest tight end of all time?
Gronk.
Okay.
Not even close. I was
going to say. I can't I left Gronk out.
I was about to say you left him out. I mean, it's hard to do what he did for so long.
And he was beat up the entire time.
Beat up because he was so physical.
Yeah.
I mean, Kelsey's incredible. Don't get me wrong, but that's a completely different style of game. Gronk is the guy that can go down and catch a seam route for 40 yards, and then the next play pancake a 280-pound defensive end.
And carry three guys
right
6-7 yards after the catch.
Exactly.
What percentage of plays was Luke open when he comes back to the huddle?
Luke's a very unselfish player, so
That's right.
he's an easy pass catcher to play with because he's not coming back and being Mr. Hey, I'm telling you, I was open on that one. So there's enough guys out there to do that for him.
Exactly. That's right. That's a receiver's deal. Right?
Yeah, the receivers room.
So Peyton, you grew up in a football family. So let me get this straight. Your dad and grandfather were head coach and offensive coordinator for 13 years together?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Maybe a couple more years. I don't know, but that sounds.
Do you? I mean, what do you remember most about that? I mean, obviously, when just playing the game, you guys spend a ton of time doing it, but these coaches even spend more time. What do you remember growing up around that kind of structure?
It was awesome. First off, I think it was a huge advantage for me in my athletic journey, and then also just being around the game for that long and having not one but two of my role models that were in the game. And it was interesting. My grandfather was a high school coach before I was born for many years, and he's in the Illinois Hall of Fame and won a bunch of state championships, and my dad played for him. And then when I was born, I think that next year he took over at North Central College, which was a Division III school. And so getting to see the Division III aspect my whole life, it was really interesting because, like you said, in Division III, you're wearing like three different hats. You don't have an assistant quarterback coach and an assistant this, and an equipment manager and all that stuff, So my dad and my grandpa, they spent a ton of time there. And, I got to see the dedication, the hard work. And
were they making meals and washing uniforms and things? I mean,
no, they weren't washing uniforms, but I mean, I think my dad for a little while, like he was passing out equipment to the guys, and he was the offensive coordinator. And so, just getting to see all that unfold, it was really interesting. And then when my grandpa retired, my dad took over as head coach. And so, I was around that place my whole life.
I remember I had it's still a good friend of mine, a high school coach, and like he goes and lines the field on Thursday night. And I was like, man, one day you can get to college and not do that. He goes, oh, I would miss it. I love going and lining off the field. Like, I guess there's something about it on those coaches, even though it's maybe not the big time, those things though, they love doing it.
Yeah. My dad and my grandfather, just enjoyed being, able to influence guys and being able to make an impact on young men's lives. And I know that's why they did it, and they love football too. But, I'm thankful for getting to grow up and see the impact that they had on young men and the amount of people that spoke to me about how valuable and how, my grandfather and my dad changed their life. It's pretty cool to see that. And as a young kid, that sets a trajectory of what, you'd expect to accomplish in your life. And so really thankful for them. And like you said, some of that stuff's fun.
Yeah.
Last time I was at Jordan-Hare was the Georgia game this year, and you tried to pull your best Lamar Jackson. I forgot what the yardage was. Pretty incredible against that defense. Yeah. But so to me, you can easily make the argument, not only the best atmosphere in the SEC, but in all of college football. But outside of Auburn home games, where do you like to play on the road?
We have this debate all the time. Certain guys will say certain places are louder than others, and but I have my list. For me, the loudest that I've ever been in, aside from Jordan-Hare, is the Swamp. And they broke an attendance record for us in 2019. I'm one of the few people that remember that.
off this team. There's not many of us left. So that was definitely the loudest. Penn State was fun atmosphere, pretty loud. I mean, each week is different. Obviously, you have places that you enjoy playing, places that are like really hostile that are pretty cool, but you really don't like going there.
What about Vanderbilt? You hear that?
I mean, you had
nothing but construction.
Elijah's
gone. Yeah, he's gone.
Transferred in here. It's not like he transferred to Vanderbilt.
Oh no, we joke on him all the time about it. Yeah, no, but it would be cool if they ever got it finished. I feel like.
I mean,
got some fan.
I mean, with SEC money, you would think that Vanderbilt could do some cool stuff with that downtown area, but
yeah.
I don't know.
If they played Auburn every week, we'd pack it out. But
well, yeah,
then you don't.
Yeah, that's what happened.
What about you? He said Penn State. You played in the Big Ten for years. Well, first of all, how different is a game day from the Big Ten to the SEC, and like stadium wise, just playing in front of those crowds?
Yeah, certain places are not much different at all. Like we just talked about. You got Vanderbilt, where that might be playing at like Indiana maybe, or I mean Indiana had way more people than Vanderbilt did, and Maryland did too. So
until halftime, right?
The Indiana game, it was a super close game. We played.
Was Penix playing?
No, he was hurt.
Okay.
And so when I played against him, that was COVID year. That was one of my first game actions, and he was lighting us up. So I only played against him once, I think. Oh, and then I played against him at Washington, which was a cool place to play. Really cool. It's on the water.
Oh yeah, I forgot you guys did play at Washington.
And that place is loud.
Yeah. Oh, we've heard.
Yeah.
We used to laugh about it. You guys don't remember. You're too young. But before they did that stadium, they had with the camera. You can explain it better. But when they would go nuts, the camera would shake when you're at home watching.
Yeah, so the camera was like on front of the upper deck, and big plays, the camera would just shake up and down. So we've always called it the shaky camera game.
Yeah, it was loud. I remember the whole week our coach was talking to us about how it's going to be a crazy environment, and we're thinking, we played at Penn State, Ohio State. Ohio State was really loud, and like Luke said, Penn State's really loud too. Not that I took it lightly, but it was like we got out there the first couple drives, and it was, you couldn't hear anything. So it was fun.
What's it like after a big win at Jordan Hare, like walking out to a tailgate and people are still out there partying and feeding you?
Nothing better. Walk by and maybe try some barbecue on the side of the street.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, get on out of here. It's hard to get out of here with all the traffic, but
that's why you just wait it out.
Yeah, you usually just wait it out.
Yeah. Do you get feedback? Because I've always said Jordan Hare in a big game is worth 7 points. Do you get feedback from opponents on that? Do they ever in their honest moment say, hey, look, man, your crowd, that was tough to deal with?
Yeah, I actually I train at the same place that Carson Beck trains down in Jacksonville, Florida. And I asked the guy he trains with, I said, hey, when he gets here, ask him about what it was like, because I was on the sideline, and there was a couple times in that game where I'm like, oh my goodness, it is rocking right now.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder what it's like on the field trying to communicate, because obviously when we're on offense, it's not the same at all.
Yeah.
And he told him, and then his coach told me that he said there was nothing like it. He said it was the best environment he's ever played in. So I don't know. I don't know if that's technically quoting him, because that's what I was told.
I've got a prediction when it comes to Carson. Elijah was in here. We were talking about the draft. Next year's #1 overall will be Carson Beck.
I can see that.
I mean, guys got everything.
Yeah, he had a really good year this year.
Yeah, I wanted one more stadium. Every time I watch a game in East Lansing, it's cloudy. Did the sun shine much up there?
I always tell people, and people up there will say, I swear, in the month of January, like, there is no sun.
No, there's not. September, October, November.
Every time, like, all right, we're in Michigan State. Like,
It's so true. Yeah, it's just a haze.
There's never a sunny game there, it doesn't seem.
Our freshman year, me and my roommate were in the dorms, and the dorm we stayed in before they switched it now was just horrendous. And we were walking outside every day, and we're like, man, this is horrible. We're like, is the sun ever going to come back? And we had, because we're from Chicago. It's not quite the same.
Yeah.
It's far enough. And we looked it up, and apparently there's a stat that Lansing is the gloomiest capital
100%
in the country.
I can totally believe it.
Very believable.
Just based on college football, I believe it.
So two things. Nick Saban, when he was at Michigan State, is it a big deal there at all? Do you, like, when you walk around the facility, is there a lot of Saban stuff? And the other thing, why the decision to go from Michigan State to Auburn? Why Auburn?
Well, first off, there's really not much.
He didn't do anything there, really,
at all. You know that he coached there, and it's cool, but there's no pictures of him in the facility, nothing like that. And then my decision to come to Auburn, it was pretty easy, honestly. When I entered the portal, it was a tough decision to leave Michigan State, but it was the right decision for me. And I talked it over with the people that I trust, and that was ultimately the direction that we went in. And like an hour after I was in the portal, I was here on campus, and so I actually entered the portal on my way here, and so
that's planning.
Yeah, it's planning. And so I was here for like 9 hours with my dad, and we had a great time with the coaches and got to watch a bunch of film. And that's really all I was interested in. The facility's great and it was cool, but I just wanted to, know what the offense was, know what we were doing and who we got. And, that sold me and my dad. And a couple days later, I committed.
You guys don't have to tell us this. We know there's tampering, though. I mean, like with this transfer portal, we can't keep up with it. I know you guys can't keep up with the coaches. Roster management's a nightmare. But I mean, how often do you have like other players reaching out or a coach that recruited you in high school? I mean, it's got to happen, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been reached out to by other players and people who have not entered the portal yet. So of course it's happening, and that's what's going to happen when there's no regulations out there. I mean,
do you guys have a solution?
I think it's definitely happening. I will say honestly that nothing illegal happened in my situation. I didn't hear from any coach or player ops person or whatever you call them. I guess my solution, honestly, is, and what I think is going to happen, the Big Ten and the SEC had that meeting, I guess. I don't know what was discussed necessarily, but I think it's going to become minor league football. And I think that the Big Ten and the SEC are going to get a group. I don't know what the number is going to be, but they're going to all team up and it's going to become minor league football. Because I think the only way you can do it is, set the rules that they want, because they don't agree with anything the NCAA hardly does anyway, from what I understand. And you're going to set like a salary cap like the NFL does, and then they're going to have people that like police it, because right now people are saying, well, you just make everybody pay the same thing. And it's like, okay, well, if you have no one to regulate that, people are just going to say, okay, that's great. And then they're going to add 2 million more on the back end and do that under the table.
Well, it's going to be like the AFC and the NFC.
Yeah, see, and again, we're a lot older than you guys, but growing up watching the game of college football, there was something about the pride you had for a university for those 4 or 5 years. Like as players, I know you guys want money and you guys deserve it with the money that's being made right now, but isn't there something lost if we condense it to like an AFC, NFC?
Absolutely. I'm somebody who's been here for 6 years, so and those were one of that's a main reason I'm here today.
I mean, you'll die an Auburn guy.
I will. Yeah, I proposed to my wife in Jordan Hare. She's from Auburn. I love this place, and so it means something to me. And we talked about it. We've got had a bunch of leadership council meetings on like the pillars of our team and the standards that we're setting for this year and where we want to go, our vision and all that. And one of those is just like trying to find the love of your school, because that's not something that people are into nowadays. It's like, I'm just here for the name on the back of the jersey, not the name on the front. So we're trying to implement that a little bit because it comes natural to some people, but for some others, they grew up. Some guys, man, they were telling me they were born in 2006. So they were little.
Math work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here. I'm like, okay, so these guys have been young this entire time, and now that they're just thrown into college football, all they know is nowadays. They've never been recruited without NIL, without the transfer portal. So we're trying to fix it as much as we can on our level, but it's.
Look, and every locker room's got cancers. I mean, if you guys have a guy that doesn't buy in, if it's all about him and NIL, I mean, do you find ways to cut those guys loose?
Yeah, I mean, we have
absolutely
an enrichment process in place.
You ever seen Full Metal Jacket?
Yeah.
We just a thought.
I thought he was going to call it Code Red. Give him a few good minutes.
Code Red. I mean, it's kind of similar.
So Peyton Thorne, Luke Dale with us. You change offensive coordinators. Coach Freeze says he's going to take over more of the play calling. Practically, how have you seen that be different in spring football, if at all?
Man, it's been a ton different.
Really?
Yeah, it's been awesome. With the addition of Coach Nix, and obviously we have other new coaches as well. Everything that Coach Nix is preaching right now to our offense is, I'm fully behind. And, I've heard these things before, whether it be, like you guys were talking about earlier from my family growing up in the football area, or, some of the stuff that I really agreed with at the last place I was at that I thought, helped us along the way. I'm hearing a lot of those things, and then obviously other new things that Coach Nix is bringing. I just really think that he's putting us in the right direction. And like you said, with Coach Freeze taking over more responsibility, obviously he's putting us in a good direction too. And just the detail is huge.
That's the word.
Yeah,
that's the word. Right. Details.
We had no detail last year.
Yeah,
and that's just being frank. And this year, that's really being emphasized. And I think guys are really latching onto that. And I know that's something me and Luke both believe in strongly. And it's taking effect and you can see it on the field.
Not just, and I wouldn't say just like mentioning the details or talking to us about details like, hey guys, the details are important. Coach Nix is super passionate about the details. Like his just the way he walks into a room talking about the details and how passionate he is about those things and how he will not let those slide. There's a lot of accountability on offense that I feel like we lacked last year, and he's doing a really good job with it.
Hey, one more Michigan State question. Does Mel Tucker tied to you and Kenneth Walker?
Tied.
Is he what?
Is he
Oh.
Is he tied?
He got a $95 million contract for one good year.
Oh, man. Yeah, we had a lot of – obviously, Ken, is an incredible player. Just speechless sometimes.
Yeah.
Just speechless.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there like, holy cow. But,
you don't have to answer that. You don't have to answer it.
A lot of great
That was a special year for you guys, though, man. And I honestly, I doubted you, and I was like, this thing's got to turn around. And boy, you guys were good that year.
It was a fun year. It was a fun year. A lot of good memories that year.
Do you all have personal goals for this year? Like I've always said Hugh Freeze, when he was hired, I think he's an outstanding coach. And I think there's such a jump, and we're going to talk to him about this in a little bit, from year one to year two. And I know you guys are expecting something like that, but what are the goals?
Yeah, so in the offseason, we've kind of the main goal for us as leaders was to have something on paper for our team to look back on, have a vision that our team can work through each and every day. Because I feel like last year we knew what the standard was, us as leaders, but we didn't uphold it. We didn't hold each other accountable, hold the young guys accountable, bring them up. But for us as leaders right now, our main goal is to get everybody bought in. You talked about some of those guys that aren't bought in. We want 100% buy-in. Now, are you ever going to get that? Probably not. That's our goal. But in terms of wins, losses, we want to make the playoff. I mean, you talked about it with Elijah on the last set. I mean,
dude, if TCU can play for it 2 years ago, why can't you guys?
No doubt. And the way we're looking right now in spring, I mean, there are some really encouraging things. I know offensively we've got some encouraging stuff on film, but defense is really coming with some encouraging stuff too. So I think our ceiling's very high.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been talking about all offseason. Yeah. If you want to say something else on that.
Yeah, 100% agree.
You're going to let him talk about it. He didn't have to answer the other one.
Yeah, no. He can talk on this. So he took a break. He took a break on the tithing question.
Yeah. Mel Tucker's in a resort right now. He's got a umbrella drink.
All right. Your thoughts on the one Luke said you could answer.
Everything that Luke said, I agree with. And it's interesting you said TCU. Actually, my roommate, Sam Jackson, one of our new receivers. He was at TCU when they made that run, and at the end of January, he's like, I'm telling you, he's like, I was there for it, and nobody expected anything from us. And he said, I swear to you, it feels the exact same right now. He said, I'm seeing things that are the exact same, and it's March, or no, it's April now, but so we still got a ways to go. But for me personally too, I heard you guys talking earlier. 10 wins in the SEC. I also believe that'll get you in the playoff.
No doubt.
Yep.
And our goal is to win all 12, but if you win 10, I think you're in the playoff. And I won 10, or I won 11 and 21 at Michigan State, and I'm also seeing similarities. That year was year 2 of a new coaching staff. This year it's year 2. We got some new players through the portal and freshmen as well, and we got some playmakers. And like Luke said, on offense, you're seeing stuff come together. And I think that if we have the right vision and like Luke said, we hold each other accountable to the standard that we've set, and go through our process, this is a fun place to play.
That's
and
the
it's
thing.
a tough place to come and play. And so, I think that that is our goal.
As the media, man, we're always wrong. Like South Carolina was picked 14th in the league in basketball. They were in the tournament this year. And nobody saw TCU. Nobody saw your 11-win Michigan State. And we, behind the scenes, we only see what's on paper. We don't see what you guys have in that locker room and how it all comes together.
Right. And not only, like Peyton was talking about, the playmakers that we have. I mean, it's definitely different this year to see it. It's not the same offense. It's not the same defense. It's just a lot more dynamic. So when we get, like you said, in the locker room and start changing the culture for the better and driving it and doing the things that Coach Freeze wants, what Coach Dom wants in the strength and conditioning program, if we're all on the same accord, then that's when some wins start happening.
Guys, good luck. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Peyton Thorne, Luke Dill, Great job. We appreciate it. Dr. B, going to take us to the break here.
Yeah. Let me tell you about our friend Dr. B. You guys will have to worry about this one day. Your hair will start thinning out like mine started to. Went to see Dr. Beckenstein, the absolute best in the business for more than 20 years. Women and men turn to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, and genetic testing to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B today. Get that consultation, 205-319-0316. I do the non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time. My hair is more than doubled in thickness. For more information, t3hair.net or 205-319-0316.
More from Auburn after this.